This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Senators debating the fisheries bill and an amendment to the Immigration Act that would prevent non-Bahamian citizens from commercial fishing in Bahamian waters this morning in the upper chamber. The Fisheries Bill 2020 would repeal the current Fisheries Resources, Jurisdiction and Conservation Act 1977, while the Immigration Amendment Bill 2020 seeks to ensure that work permits are not granted for commercial fishing. The bill was unanimously passed in the House of Assembly last week, and Senator Lisa Bostwick-Dean says she supports the bill. However, she raises this concern.
I don't wish this to be bogged down into a matter of discrimination and relitigation of constitutional points. But what I would say to all who have said before that there are many instances in our laws where we preclude the spouses of Bahamians from participating in various sectors of our society, that the fact that we do it is no excuse to continue it. Furthermore, exclusion of persons from our armed forces and security is quite different than excluding persons from the ability to support their families.
Now, the senator makes it clear that she's by no means talking about opening up participation in the Bahamian fishing industry to all foreigners. However, she says where there is a Bahamian married to another nationality, that person should be able to work in their trained profession to help support their small Bahamian children. Now, with respect to fishing methods from other nationalities, Senator Bostwick-Dean says that's what the country's laws are for, adding that the captains on those vessels are responsible for their crew's fishing practices.
And so I don't see the need to say that a person married to a Bahamian cannot fish. With respect to so-called fraudulent marriages or marriages of convenience, i.e. persons getting married to accommodate foreigners who want to fish in this Bahamas, then of course that should be 100% frowned upon. It should be condemned, and there are laws on our books to deal with that. We already prosecute people for fraudulent marriages, and if we need to increase the penalties with respect to that, then let us do that. But we have the laws on our books to deal with such.
Now, Senator Renard Henfield, who noted that he's married to a foreigner, said this during his contribution to debate.
Whether a Bahamian man or a Bahamian woman marries a non-Bahamian, they have the right to apply to be a citizen. So when I hear the argument in social media or in the other place, or even in this place, that what we are doing with the amendment will be unfair to the spouses of Bahamians, I think it needs to be clarified that anybody who marries a non-Bahamian, that individual has a right to become a citizen. The amendment today says that if you are not a citizen, this industry is for citizens.
He added that the country is in a time where Bahamians have been advocating and agitating to protect the jobs and industries for Bahamians. That said, Senator Henfield also supports the bill. The Financial Crime Unit seeking the public's assistance, believing that with your help, they can locate at least 3 suspects wanted for fraud. 2 of the men wanted in connection with fraudulent checks related to J.S. Johnson Insurance Company. Investigators say Keith Coakley is wanted for questioning for manufacturing fraudulent J.S. Johnson Insurance Company's checks. Coakley's last known address is the Marlin Apartments on Royal Palm Way in Grand Bahama. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, is of medium build, and dark brown in complexion. Meantime, this man on your television screen is also wanted in connection to J.S. Johnson fraud checks. Police unable to give a name to the suspect or last known address, and only provided an image caught on CCTV as you see on your TV screen. The man is of a brown complexion and medium build. Now, FCU officers also on the lookout for Ricardo Davis. He's wanted regarding fraudulent Public Hospitals Authority checks. Davis is 35 years old. Last known address was number 73 Brougham Street. He stands at 6 feet 2 inches tall, of dark brown complexion and medium build. Anyone with his information of any whereabouts or any suspects is asked to call the Financial Crime Unit at 356-6025. And the Democratic National Alliance leader, Orinthia Komolafe, says that the recently released fiscal strategy report does not inspire confidence, nor does it contain a cogent strategy or economic recovery from the devastation of the COVID-19 pandemic. We learn as much from the statement released this morning. Mrs. Komolafe contends that the report was heavy on catchy buzzwords, but light on real strategies to reform or stimulate the Bahamian economy. She also mentioned that the release of the FSR 1 month later than required by legislation should have provided the government with enough time to review its contents for substance, accuracy, and clarification. She urges that it is important that the credibility of figures and reports presented by the government is sustained as they are relied upon by domestic and international stakeholders. Well, that does it for news this evening. Once again, I'm Leah Cooper. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.